Can you believe it's been 15 years since Marvel Studios delivered us their very first film? Well, with a little help from Paramount, of course, long before Marvel was bought by Disney. Here's my re-review of Iron Man, which is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Nuff said. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 2008 superhero flick Iron Man, released by Paramount along with Marvel Studios. The first installment of the MCU, directed by Jon Favreau from a screenplay by the writing teams of Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby, along with Art Markham and Matt Holloway, starring Robert Downey Jr. in the title role and his alter ego Tony Stark, along with Terrence Howard, Jeff Bridges, Gwyneth Paltrow, Leslie Bibb, and Sean Toub. The film follows Tony Stark's escape from captivity by a terrorist group. He builds a mechanized suit of armor and becomes the superhero known as Iron Man. I mean, this film had been Iron Man had been going through limbo numerous times since the 1990s. I mean, many other Marvel superheroes were going through that at the time. Before Marvel Studios reacquired the rights in 2005, and Marvel put the project in production as its first self-financed film, with Paramount distributing the film. Favreau signed on as the director. Let me tell you, this was really something. This was a big hit and what have you. The first time a big type of Marvel superhero movie to open up so well since the original Spider-Man. It went on to become the 8th highest grossing film of 2008. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let's get into the story. Tony Stark, who has inherited the defense contractor Stark Industries from his late father Howard, is in war-torn Afghanistan with his friend and military liaison, Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes, to demonstrate the new Jericho missile. After the demonstration, his convoy is ambushed and Stark is critically wounded by a missile used by the attackers, one of his company's own. He is captured and imprisoned in a cave by a terrorist group called the Ten Rings. Jensen, a fellow captive and doctor, implants an electromagnet into Stark's chest to keep the shrapnel shards that wounded him from reaching his heart and killing him. Ten Rings leader Raza offers Stark freedom in exchange for building a Jericho missile for the group, but he and Jensen believe that Raza will not keep his word. So the two secretly build a small, powerful electric generator called an arc reactor to power Stark's electromagnet and a prototype suit of powered armor to aid in the escape. Although they keep the suit hidden almost to completion, the Ten Rings discover their hostages' intentions and attack the workshop. Jensen sacrifices himself to divert them while the suit powers up. The armored Stark battles his way out of the cave to find the dying Jensen, then burns the Ten Rings' weapons and flies away, crashing in the desert and destroying the suit. After being rescued by Rhodes, Stark returns home and announces that his company will cease manufacturing weapons. Obadiah Stane, his father's old partner and the company's manager, advises Stark that this may ruin Stark Industries and his father's legacy. In his home workshop, Stark builds a sleeker, more powerful version of his improvised armor suit, as well as a more powerful arc reactor for it in his chest. Personal assistant Pepper Potts places the original reactor inside a small glass showcase. Though Stane requests details, a suspicious Stark decides to keep his word to himself. At a charity event held by Stark Industries, reporter Christine Everhart informed Stark that his company's weapons were recently delivered to the Ten Rings and are being used to attack Jensen's home village, Gilmera. Stark dons his new armor and flies to Afghanistan, where he saves the villagers. While flying home, Stark is attacked by two F-22 Raptors. He reveals his identity to Rhodes over the phone in an attempt to end the attack. Meanwhile, the Ten Rings gather the pieces of Stark's prototype suit and meet with Stain, who has been trafficking arms to the Ten Rings and has staged a coup to replace Stark as Stark Industries CEO by hiring the Ten Rings to kill him. He subdues Raza and has the rest of the group killed. And Stain has a massive new suit reverse engineered from the wreckage. Seeking to track his company's illegal shipments, Stark sends Potts to hack into its database and she discovers that Stain hired the Ten Rings to kill Stark, but the group reneged, and when they realized they had a direct route to Stark's weapons. Potts meets with Agent Phil Coulson of S.H.I.E.L.D., an intelligence agency, to inform him of Stain's activities. All right, now, and for the ending, as always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I'm counting down already, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Stain scientists cannot duplicate Stark's miniaturized arc reactor, so Stain ambushes Stark at his home and steals the one from his chest. Stark manages to replace it with his original reactor. Potts and several S.H.I.E.L.D. agents attempt to arrest Stain, but he dons his suit and attacks him. Stark fights Stain, but is outmatched without his new reactor to run his suit at full capacity. The fight carries Stark and Stain to the top of the Stark Industries building, where Stark instructs Potts to overload the large arc reactor powering the building. This unleashes a massive electrical surge that causes Stain and his armor to fall into the exploding reactor, killing him. The next day, at a press conference, Stark publicly admits to being the superhero the press has dubbed Iron Man. And that's the end of the story, but in a post-credits scene, S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury visits Stark at home, telling him that Iron Man is not the only superhero in the world, and explaining that he wants to discuss the Avenger Initiative in the story for realsies. So what did I think of Iron Man? What can I say? I love this movie. This film was released on this very day, May 2nd, 2008. Henceforth, today's the film's 15th anniversary. I remember going to see it in the theater, and let me tell you, this was such a blast from start to finish. I really enjoyed this. This film would be a big success, becoming the 8th highest grossing film in 2008. It would go on to make $585 million worldwide. The film opened with almost $100 million, making it only the second time a superhero movie's done that since Spider-Man had recently done that. And just even before, The Dark Knight even came out later that same year. Anyway, I gotta agree with the critics' reviews and what have you. It received praise from the critics, especially the performance of Robert Downey Jr. and the director of Jon Favreau, plus visual effects, action sequences, and writing. It received 2 nominations at the Academy Awards for Best Sound Editing and Best Visual Effects. I must say, it was just so incredible. Of course, I do have the film on DVD. And again, what can I say? It was absolutely incredible. Now, of course, Iron Man premiered just a few weeks before it got released in the US, as it premiered at the Greater Union Theatre at George Street, Sydney on April 14, 2008. Of course, the film is also currently available to stream on Disney Plus. To this day, the film sits at 94% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. They say, powered by Robert Downey Jr.'s vibrant charm, the film turbocharges the superhero genre with a deft intelligence and infectious sense of fun. I couldn't agree more. I really loved it. And let's see, it has some pretty good tunes. Raman Jawadi, if I mispronounced that, I apologize. He did a good job with the score. And the director, Jon Favreau, was really good. And what else can I say? I thought it was totally incredible. Now then, now as for our cast, Robert Downey Jr. really surprised me as Tony Stark and Iron Man. Absolutely really good. Anyway, I really was pretty happy and what have you with that performance of his. Terrence Howard played James Rhodes, or Rhodey as he's known as in the comics. I have to say, he was really good. Unfortunately, he didn't return to do the role for the sequels, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Jeff Bridges plays Obadiah Stane. I have to say, very good and what have you. Great villain and what have you. However, I've read here many of his character scenes were cut to focus more on Stark, but the writers felt that Bridges' performance allowed the application of less is more when editing the film. Yes. And Gwyneth Paltrow really took me by surprise playing Pepper Potts. Now, although Virginia's her actual name, but anyway, I really loved her performance as well. This was just probably one of the best performances she's given in years. Leslie Bibb plays Christine Everhart, who happens to be a reporter for the magazine Vanity Fair. And Sean Toob played Ho Jensen. Was very good. Paul Bettany, who would later go on to play Vision in the MCU later on, voices Jarvis, Stark's personal AI system. Now, even though in the comics there was a character named Jarvis, and that was Edwin Jarvis, who of course was Stark's butler. And then of course Clark Gregg plays Phil Coulson, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., who of course would appear in other MCU films as well as the hit TV series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Director Jon Favreau also appears as Harold Hogan, Happy Hogan to you, Stark's bodyguard and chauffeur, and Samuel L. Jackson, of course, makes a cameo as Nick Fury in the post-credit scene. We have Peter Billingsley. Yes, you heard me correctly. Ralphie from A Christmas Story appears in this as one of the characters. He's also an executive, one of the producers on the film, actually. Stanley appears after Tony mistakes him for Hugh Hefner. Yeah, that was really sad. Yeah, some pretty funny lines and what have you. I especially liked it when they had that. Well, Pepper told Hogan to take him to the hospital after he returned home, but Tony didn't want to. He tells her that he wants to do one thing, get an American cheeseburger, and then he wants Pepper to set up for a press conference. Pepper's not too thrilled with that, and Tony's like, Hogan, drive, cheeseburger first. Oh man, that's classic. And I also like it when he's testing out his the the flight proportion things for his suit and what have you. Yeah, and he tells his fire extinguisher little robot thing. He's like, and if you so much as douse me, and if I'm not on fire, I'm donating you to a state college. But he manages to get the handle and comes down. That thing starts to fire. It's like, ah! Yeah, I can fly. Another great line. Oh boy. I gotta say, Iron Man is definitely one of my favorite films of 2008. It would go on to have two sequels that would also be big and what have you. So, anyway, this has a good story, great cast, and great characters, great score, etc., 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 action, and all that jazz. So, overall, would I recommend Iron Man? Answer is hell yeah. Definitely look into this film. If you haven't seen this yet, shame, shame, shame. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of you have seen Iron Man. So, what did you think of Iron Man? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big V Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a re-review of Iron Man 2. So if you like this, consider checking out my re-reviews of these other Marvel films. In the upper left-hand corner is my re-review of Spider-Man from 2002. The upper right-hand corner is my re-review of Thor from 2011. And the bottom left-hand corner is my re-review of The Avengers from 2012. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and until next time, true believers, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.